What's up, guys? It's Stoner, and yes, I am still sick. A little bit. Just a little bit. But we are going to continue on with the prologue, and let's see what happens. Yeah, let's get right into it. Number 4. The Emperor. I'm back on the black stone path, whipped by wind and rust-colored sand. The thick, dark clouds hanging overhead are heavier than before. But if I'm dreaming again, where is Asura? The unforgiving wind burns my eyes as I search the desolate landscape. Up ahead, too far ahead to reach, Asura still with the lumbering beast. You've stopped at a fork in the road. One way goes east, the other west. Asura dismounts the creature, placing a hand on its hide. It turns down the path to the east. Asura walks west, and I know at once he is going the wrong way. Not that way, not again! His head turns, even from the uncrossable distance. I feel our eyes meet. Dover? His voice is just a longing whisper on the wind. Reach out to him. With all my will, I drive myself forward to reach out, close enough to grasp hold of his hand. When our hands touch, his eyes are wide with wonder. Before everything around us dissolves and falls away. It's yesterday in the dream. I'm sweeping up a mess of powdered bat milk with Asura. When Asura wanders in. Dover, wait till you see what the woods had to offer today. Mushrooms, fruit, and roots tumble out of his bag onto the countertop. He leans on his elbows, hands under his chin, watching me with delight. Whoa, so much! This is more than we need. I thought it'd be better to have plenty. I don't want to leave you here with nothing but pumpkin bread. With my hands occupied, Asura slips a gold berry in my mouth and I chew slowly, tasting nothing. Leave me, that's right. This was the moment right before he packed his bag to go. I wanted to tell him then, now I can't remember why I didn't. I can't hold it in. I want to come with you. Asura blinks, drops his gaze and sighs. Gentle hands come to either side of my face as he looks deep into my eyes. I know, I wish I could take you. It's too risky. Wherever it goes, it's too far, too fast. Wherever he goes, it's too far, too fast. Too risky for me, but not for him. Then don't go. I'll risk it. I turn my face so my lips meet his palm. He goes still with surprise. I'll risk it. You will? Why? You want to join me in the den of the baby-eating blood mountain beast? Slog through the crawling maze of torturia, only to end up in a quicksand pit in the bog of resistance? He doesn't get it. He blinks when I shake away his touch. I want to be with you. If you're going to Blood Mountain, that's where I want to be. That facial expression. You want to put yourself in danger, to be with me. That's... Asura worries his lips in thought. He steps back, skating his hands down my arms. You're really serious this time, huh? Turning you down is even harder when we want the same thing. You don't want to be left behind, and I don't want to leave you, but sometimes we can't have what we want, even when it feels right. I'll bring back whatever you want, okay? Anything. My brow furrows as he squeezes my hand in apology. I don't want souvenirs. I want to be where he is. I thought he wanted the same. I grip his hands and look him in the eye. If I have to be the one to banish these doubts, I will. What? Do you want me? I want you. Well then, this is quite interesting. I'm gonna eeny meeny miny mo. So I start at I want you, and so I want you is eeny. Alright, so eeny meeny miny mo, catch Jacob by his toe. If he screams, I'll let him go. Eeny meeny miny mo. My mum says to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I want you. He goes still, and his hands brace mine tight. His chest shudders with a sigh as he pulls away from me. You do? I can't. I want you safe. He takes a step towards the door, but I catch his wrist. His pained expression must be mirrored on my own face. You don't want me? I've never seen him so tongue-tied. My heart sinks steadily until he tugs me into a tight embrace. Of course I do. If only it were that easy. When he pulls back, he looks into my eyes with such clarity that everything else goes out of focus. You're more honest in dreams. Just like I remember, Asra takes a flower and tucks it behind my ear before I can speak. I really can't wait to see you again. I'll be back soon. His voice reverberates through my consciousness, soft and full of promise. My mind grasps after the vestiges of the dream, but it's futile. It's already fading away. Ooh, fancy room. Sunlight tickles my face. I open my eyes with a groan. Morning, Dover. I feel like she should, instead of having like this voice, she should have like a Texas accent, but I don't want to offend anyone. So I'm just gonna go with whatever comes to mind. Portia sets out a tray of breakfast pastries while I slowly sit up. What a lovely sunrise. Did you sleep well? So I end up doing that voice anyway. The Countess wants to meet her. You to meet her in the library once you've eaten Andreas. I need to get out of that voice. Portia sets a neat pile of elegant clothing on the bed beside me. I unfold the top piece, marveling at the way the fabric moves. We took your old clothes to be laundered. Milady asked me to provide these for you. I'll be waiting in the hall whenever you're ready. Portia ducks out the door. I move the silky garments aside and toss back my bed covers. I eat quietly. I can't read. I eat quickly, not wanting to keep the Countess waiting. The pastries are still warm and flaky, each more delicate and whimsical than the last. When I disrobe and pull on my new outfit, fumbling with its clasps and buttons. Ooh, don't you look nice? And the Countess has a real eye for fashion. She'll definitely be pleased. Portia stops before a panel in the wall 3 times my height. It is crafted in smooth wood, in all the colours of rippling honey. Carved with dizzying intricacy is a great tree in the height of maturity. Its leaves and fruit are inlaid, and jewels, precious stone, and mother of pearl. It's Milady's own work. Beautiful, isn't it? Portia retrieves a ring of keys from her pocket. There are about a dozen, each carved with the same wood as the panel, and each bearing a distinct jewel. One by one, she finds their locks in the panel. With each key, the roots of the tree start to iron one from each other, pulling free from the floor. When all the locks have been turned, the panel folds upon itself on either side like a paper fan. Oh my god, that's so pretty. I love this game so much. There are books everywhere, books winding up the walls, reaching for the ceiling. The Countess is waiting for us, seated in a reclining chair. My eyes glitter with approval when she sees me. Dover, you look positively radiant. Okay. She gestures to the towering shelves all around us. Do you read? I nod. The Countess tempers her surprise. Ah, somehow I suspected that you might. It is a great gift to read. Where I come from, it is shared amongst all citizens, but woefully uncommon here. This way, if you please. She leads me deeper into the shelves. Portia follows with the jingling ring of keys. I can't stop staring at all the books. My fingers itch to run along their spines, but I resist. Sounds like me. Dover, you are my guest. If you should like to return here, you need only ask. But for the moment, the Countess stops before an alcove nestled between the shelves. I would have your undivided attention here. The desk stands in a slim ray of daylight cast from a tiny window. Books, journals, papers, and scrolls cover every inch of the desk. Despite the clutter, everything is carefully organized. Someone's place of study preserved in time. This was Dr. Dvork's desk. He was employed at the palace, as was your master Azra. We called upon them to concoct a cure for the plague. My blood runs cold. The Red Plague, as it was called, swept through the city like wildfire. It claimed young and old, frail and strong. There was no way to tell who would succumb. Hey, that rhymed. I like that. Cases are rare now. I can't remember the last time I saw the telltale red in the whites of someone's eyes. Physicians, scientists, alchemists, fortune tellers, magicians. All were invited in hopes that their resources may aid their research. Perhaps he was plotting even then, but the doctor accepted our invitation. As did your master, Azra. Her gaze shifts to the window. It overlooks a large willow tree, which hangs over the fountain in the garden below. I have had the desk and its contents examined laboriously. Nothing of consequence has been found, but perhaps you'll make better use of it. It is the best lead I can offer. She draws away, passing me perfuming the air with jasmine. I can't read today. The search for Dr. Dvorak is now in your hands. You may proceed as you see fit. I ask only that you meet with me for dinner this evening. She smiles serenely and sweeps out of the room, Portia following in her wake. Ooh. What a reaction. I am left alone with the doctor's desk. There is a stack of books and a leather-bound folio and scrolls tucked away in the little row of drawers. folio. The folio papers are a little gold with age and thin, almost transparent. I've never read that word in my life. A meticulous drawing catches my eye. Its neat lines contrast sharply with the doctor's messy writing. Somehow the patterns and shapes look very familiar, like I've seen them before. I trace one with my fingertip, and the hairs on my arms stand on end. Ooh. There's an echo of desperation and single-minded purpose. It's a faint trace at best, but I can sense that what the doctor was feeling when he made these drawings. I roll the drawing into a tight scroll and stow it in my bag. This fragile piece of paper, it's something the doctor cared about, something with a connection to him. A surge of excitement and apprehension rushed through me. I can use this. With the scroll and my magic to assist me, I might be able to find him. I glance out the window at the sky. It's a bit past noon. If I'm quick, I should be back in time for dinner with the Countess. The sun starts dipping in the sky as I make my way back into the city. My breath grows short as tremors of anxiety radiates from my gut, spreading to my fingertips. I haven't done magic like this on my own, though I've always had Ashra with me before. Ashra, memories of his familiar voice soothe my mind. Start with your breath, follow with your heart, and be present. Finding the calm I need, I gather up my magic, holding the scroll in both hands. A tingling sensation grows at the base of my neck. That's what happens when I listen to ASMR. I follow the feeling away from the palace through the city streets. I end up in a narrow, slippery street at the south end of Vesuvia, its shabby stone layered like scales. Clustered apartments line the passage, and murky reddish water swirls in the sluggish canal. Suddenly a door in front of me swings open, casting warm light down 3 jagged stone steps. Oh, I'll be back. Just stepping out for some air. I freeze mid-step, my heart leaping into my throat. My spell worked? But I hadn't thought about what I'd do when I found him. I try to back away quietly, but something catches my heel, toppling me into an empty barrel. The next thing I know, I'm staring at the sky, limbs flailing uselessly as quick steps approach. Oh, he looks so sad. What an expression, he looks so sad. Hello, that was quite a tumble. Are you alright? The doctor leans over the barrel, extending a hand. He rears back when he sees my face. The shopkeep, what are you doing here? Come on, upsy daisy. A firm grip encircles each of my wrists, and I'm hauled out of the barrel like a snail shucked from its shell. I stagger forward into the doctor's broad, gleaming chest. Oh my god. For a moment, his eyes meet mine in surprise at our sudden proximity. Then, with a friendly pat to my arms, he releases me. I take a good look at my surroundings for the first time. We're behind a tavern, well hidden from the street. Painted on the door is a cackling blackbird lying back on a crescent moon. The rowdy raven, it reads. Oh, the rowdy raven, sorry. Dare I ask what brings you to this neck of the woods? I open my mouth, but no words come out. How do I even begin to explain? The doctor gives me a knowing look and casts a glance to the open door. Its warm light glows between us. He turns to me with a glint in his eye. Rumor has it you're working for the palace. Why did all the music just go away? Okay. I'm sure, well, by now, you've heard some interesting stories about me. I nod. That much is true. It's a gross understatement. But you haven't heard my side of the tale, have you? That's true too. All my knowledge is from the Countess's account, the wanted posters, and the muddled rumours. Besides, I do still owe you for the reading. Are you thirsty? My treat. I'm not thirsty. Not thirsty? Well, I wouldn't know how that feels. I hesitated on the threshold of the door, but only for a moment. He's a wanted man, yet this might be my best opportunity to question him. Alright, if you want to tell me your side of things, I'll listen. You will? Such utter shock. No one's ever shown any kindness. Right, of course. If you'll just, follow me. He beckons me up the steps to the door, easing it open and leading me through to the warmth inside. It's Sean's bar! No, I'm joking. It's not even sundown, but the tavern is in full swing. The noise of cacophonous. I really need to burp. No, don't burp. The barkeep, wide, scar-faced and barrel-armed, gives the doctor a cheeky salute when we pass by. A cackling drunkard swings out a wooden leg, which Dr. Dorvac politely pushes aside. Dvorak. Oh my god. Oh, Dvorak. I said that exactly the same way. Dvorak. I don't even know. Tutting, my escort guides me to a cozy booth in the back. You make yourself comfortable, I'll be right back. He breezes past me towards the bar. I try to sit still as I look around. Nearby, a pair of old crones are hunched over a card game, attended by a squabbling crowd. Up at the bar, the doctor chats with the barkeep. They both erupt into peals of laughter at some jokes. He looks perfectly at ease, so different from when I met him at the shop. He turns and makes his way back with a drink for himself and a glass of water for me. You know, I never did get your name. Fingers interlocking over the table between us, he gives me a look of encouragement. Dover. Ah, Dover, quite a name, rolls off the tongue. He takes a deep sip of his own drink, watching me over the rim of his cup. I clear my throat, looking him dead in the eye. You said you'd tell me your side of the story. Oh, I did, didn't I? How careless of me. He laughs at my incredulous expression. Then he leans back in the booth, long limbs going every which way. Alright, ask anything you like. Wordlessly, I reach into my bag and hand him a scroll from the library. Once he starts reading, the smile slides off from his face. He leans over the page, frowning in concentration. Oh, I actually quite like this illustration. Why does all the characters seem like they've got freckles? That's pretty cool. The map-like winding patterns draw me in once again. I find myself leaning over the scroll for a closer look. I only look away when I feel Julian's eye on me. Where did you find this? It was on your desk in the palace library. He looks away, but not before I see a flinch of pain across his face. Oh, well, this is the slice of a human brain. The patterns are unique, actually, to each individual. Individual? I meet his gaze, and he stiffens with trepidation. You mean to say you've seen individual brains sliced like this? Julian steeples his fingers and rests his chin on his thumbs. His expression is ghastly. There are other drawings, aren't there, at the palace? I nod, and he drums his fingers on his clenched jaw in clear distress. Well, you'd better put this one back. Trust me, they'll notice it's gone. As if he can't stand to look at it a moment longer, he rolls it up and hands it to me. I take the scroll and stow it in my bag. It feels heavier now, as if the page itself took on the weight of his ominous words. Excuse me. Whisking the stains away, Julian heads back to the bar. Shrill bickering erupts from the card-playing crone's table. Julian whispers to one of the crones as he passes by and taps a single card in her hand. The card is played, throwing the crowd into chaos. Julian ducks away just as someone douses him with their drink. He's still whipping it off, chuckling when he returns to his seat. You would think I'd know better than to get involved. I raise an eyebrow. He's not wearing a mask here, and everyone seems to know him. You're not worried about being seen? Here? No, I'm not worried. I'm not too worried. Folks around here aren't known to oblige the wants and wishes of the palace. Even the Raven spends his time scouting for guards, obviously. Obsessively. Julian scans the smoky rafters while I process what he told me. It's a little surprising. Where Asra and I live, the guards are treated with reverence, and fear is no small measure. Suddenly, the Raven bursts in through a dusty window overhead, flying in loops with a guttural shriek. The bird beats himself against a string of bells, and the tavern erupts into chaos. Guards! Palace guards! Patrons claws their way out every door and window, playing cards tossed and fluttering in the air. Julian scoops me bodily from my seat and rushes me out the back door into the alley. It's getting cold and the sun's almost set completely. The doctor casts a frantic glance up and down the alley before crowding me into the shadows. You'll be able to find your way, yes? The guards aren't after you. I nod. He clasps my upper arm and looks down deep into my eyes. Thanks, Dodo. He turns and vanishes, leaving me all alone in the silent, shuttered alley. Now what do? I thought Julian might give me answers, but all I have are more swirling questions. Hey, you there! I roll around as two armed guards appear at the alley entrance. They march towards me, but when they're close enough to see my face, they stop. Oh, the Countess's magician. The guard gives me a short, sharp bow. I'm Ludovico. We met yesterday at the gates. I nod, trying to summon up some confidence. Yes, I'm supposed to dine with the Countess after tonight, but it's getting late. Ludovico briskly waves off my unasked question. We'll hire you a carriage back. Don't want to keep the Countess waiting. He leads me back to the... Everyone says... I don't want to keep the Countess waiting. Don't want to keep the Countess waiting. Don't want to keep the Countess waiting. He leads me back to a broader street, hails a gilded carriage, and closes the door behind me. The palace looms over the carriage as it approaches, a white monolith against the twinkling night sky. Portia waiting for me at the gates, ready to help me out of the carriage. She's unusually quiet, not at all her usual cheerful self. I keep silent as well, occupied by tangled thoughts of my own. The grand doors swing open as we arrive to reveal an extravagant meal piled high upon the long table. Everything is richly seasoned and with rare spices. I can recognize the scent of saffron wafting towards me. You're right on time, Dover. I hope your day was fruitful. A servant seats me and fulfills my glass with a pale rose beverage. The delicate floral aroma reminds me of the Countess's perfume. First, let us attend to some small matters. My courtiers are most eager to meet you. I shall introduce you to them tomorrow afternoon. They will want to know everything about you, but choose wisely what you wish to tell. I will be informing them of the masquerade as well. I imagine they will be ecstatic. I nod slowly as I chew my food. The ways of the court are foreign to me. But I can trust, at the very least, that the Countess will allow me to be an embarrassment. Won't allow me to be an embarrassment. And tomorrow at noon, Portia will lead a routine into the town square to announce the masquerade. A retinue. Once the townspeople hear, word will spread on its own, and then it shall be out of our hands. I imagine the crowds will be eager to see Count Lucio's murderer hang. I think of Julian bathed in the warm, welcoming light of the tavern, swinging from the gallows. My heart grows cold at the image, but I'm careful not to let it show on my face. But these are tomorrow's matters. Tonight, Dover, I have questions. Questions? I brace myself for the inevitable queries about where I went, what I've been doing. Yes, I wish to become familiar with you. Her words catch me off guard. I didn't expect her to have any interest in who I was. Let us be strangers no longer. May tonight be the beginning of a valuable friendship. She starts with simple questions: how I enjoy the town, my daily goings-on, my favorite things to eat. I ask her questions in turn and leave her. And learn that her favorite food is spiced swordfish. In Prakra, spiced swordfish is a summer dish. I would hardly suffer a warm night without it. Prakra, a vast land in the north, the Countess's home, though I had thought it was only rumour. The kitchen does try to humour my request, but alas, they can never seem to spice it quite right. Do you ever miss living there? The Countess looks thoughtfully down into her glass, elegant fingers curved delicately around its stem. Perhaps. I don't think I would ever return to Prakra, but there are things I miss about my home. Often, when I was feeling morose, I would take a walk down to the white beaches of my homeland, observing the opalescent waves crashing over the sands would soothe my worried soul. The bittersweet expression on her face as she speaks of her homeland makes me look years younger. Her look years younger. I notice that the servants are listening as they work, watching the Countess, and I, with wondering eyes. Well, if we are to reminisce, perhaps we should do so somewhere more private. Would you care to join me at the veranda for a nightcap? What is a nightcap? She looks down at me, a soft smile tugging at her lips. Just the two of us? Then she holds her hand out towards me, waiting expectantly. No, thank you. Are you tired? Or perhaps shy? It is quite all right, Dover. I understand completely. I do hope you will have a pleasant evening. Portia, please show our guest back to her room. Nadia exits the dining room, the scent of jasmine lingering in the air for a moment before fading as well. Portia appears at my elbow, smiling warmly. I nod gratefully and get to my feet, following Portia out. The walk back to the guest room is less eventful tonight. Mercedes and Melchior are nowhere to be seen. Our footsteps echo in the empty halls. Portia walks cheerfully beside me. Things are a lot more interesting around here since you've showed up. And all the rumors floating around, my goodness, you'd think we had nothing to do but chat. Do you hear a lot of rumors? It's my job to know who and what's happening around here. It seems servants came during the day to tidy up. They've placed a fresh pitcher of water on the desk. Incense burns by the window, filling the room with hazy swirls of wood and spice. When I drop my bag at the foot of the bed, the scrolls from Julian's desk roll out. Portia spots it. She looks as if she's dying to ask a question, but it falters before it can escape her lips. You seem concerned. Concerned? Me? Maybe it's just the doctor. He can't be the only suspect, right? Just between you and me, I think Aunt Lucia had a lot of enemies too. I wasn't working here when it happened. I've only heard rumors of what went on that night. Just keep your eyes peeled for anything strange, alright? Then she smiles, the worry clearing from her face. She leans in close to me, voice low. You know, if you're not too tired yet, I could show you around the palace. There's a lot of interesting things on the grounds. Maybe I could show you some secrets, if you think you can handle them. Is she teasing me? She gives me another wink and tilts her head, waiting for an answer. Show me the secrets. Oh no, I don't have money. I'm broke. Is that allowed? Why wouldn't it be allowed? You're not a prisoner here, you know. You look like you can keep a secret. I'm not too worried. I don't have $200. 200 coins. Whatever, I don't care. I don't have that. I'm too tired. I get it. You had a long day and a lot on your mind. Get some rest tomorrow. Milady wants you to join us in town to announce the masquerade. I'll be back at dawn. Don't sleep in. With that, she's gone, leaving me alone with my thoughts. And that is the end of that part of Prologue. I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you next time. Tova out.